All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are working on a 2014 Subaru Forester. This is just a 2.5i Premium. This is, we just bought this 2 days ago. This is going to be replacing my wife's CRV. We're tired of a car payment every month, and this was only a couple grand. It was $6,800, and we still owe $30 on her CRV. So I bought this from it's a one owner car. It's pretty clean. Underneath looks clean, everything like that. Inside is also clean. Paint could use a little bit of correction, and interior, to my standard, just needs cleaned up. But really clean car. Has the massive sunroof, has heated seats, CVT for my wife, and I think the car has like 118,000 miles on it. But today's video, we are going to be doing an oil change to this. So let me just show you a quick walk around to the car, and then we'll get into the oil change. I'll show you what I ended up getting and what we're gonna end up doing. So like I said, paint needs, there's some swirls and stuff, but it's a, what, a 12-year-old car? Almost 11-year-old car. Other than that, super clean, especially on the inside. Just needs detailed, but no rust, anything like that on it. This has the 2.5 liter, like I said before. So we do have other stuff coming up. I still need to do the Banks diff cover for my truck and stuff like that, but today, because the CRV is gone, tomorrow morning we're doing an oil change, and this is the stuff that I got. Of course, you want to do full synthetic in these. They're 0.20. I went with a Mobile 1, and this is a new crush ring washer. That's actually, I think, a Dorman brand. I still need to clean this garage up, ignore all that, but we're going to get into this, and I'll post the part number for the Dorman crush ring. The dealership, obviously, today being Sunday, was closed, so we're going to get into that. So before we get into this, a few things I want to note about this car that it's probably going to pass inspection, of course, or won't pass inspection, I'm sorry. Hazy headlights, stuff like that. I'm undecided on if I just want to try one of those headlight restoration kits, or if I actually want to do a cheap pair. I believe these are both... Yeah, they are Subaru branded. I'd like to try to keep them, but other things I've noticed, of course, people have slopped this up for whenever you're doing oil changes. Driver side CV axle needs replaced, and stuff like brake fluid's a little dirty. If we get a chance, wouldn't mind replacing that. It's not terrible. It's not great either. Coolant looked good the other day when I opened it up. Can't really see in there, but it does look good. And one other thing I've noticed, which I've done valve cover gaskets on the older EJ25s. This one, see if I can get in there. Right there. So you can see the oil coating on there. It looks like it's on both sides. So to me, it looks like it's probably gonna need valve cover gaskets, which isn't a super big deal. And while I'm in there, this is a later video. Probably do plug change, just because I don't know any of the history of this car other than it was one owner, it's lived here its entire life, and they said they've never had any issues with it other than recently the CV axle. So let's get into this oil change finally. I actually got to move it back because I can't get into the pit, and of course all the snow's melted everywhere. But we'll get in there, and super easy. Of course, filters up top. And I might clean some of this mess up while we're here too. But let me get this moved back, and we'll get situated underneath. So I'm gonna let this warm up a little bit. As you can tell, no chain noise in these. These are the FB motors. It's a 2.5 liter. Apparently these are super good motors. Head gaskets really aren't an issue so much on these. CVT, on the other hand, I don't know, Subaru and their CVTs have had issues, but motor sounds, like a Subaru. I'm trying to let it warm up a little bit so the oil can fully drain out, and not die from carbon monoxide poisoning. But here's inside. Of course, seatbelt light, because I'm not wearing it, and the door's ajar. Cold light in these. I hate how these things rev to the moon. But yeah, really clean inside. Would like to eventually do a different head unit for these. So this has the MDF. Of course, it's super filthy up there, but I would like to eventually replace this for my wife. But yeah, super clean car, heated seats. I like it. Hopefully this is a really good car for her. But now that I moved it, we're gonna let it warm up just a little bit longer and get underneath. All right, sorry for the really poor lighting. This car, like I said, has 118,000 miles on it. You know, for this area, everything looks typically fine. There's a little bit of surface rust on the control arms. And of course, this is a good time to look up in there, see if there's any kind of movement or anything. Everything looks good so far. I'm gonna, of course, pull the wheel, or not pull the wheel, but lift this up later. But underneath here, it even looks better than what I could see. I laid under this, obviously, whenever I looked at it, but I wanted to get a closer look. Yeah, everything looks really good. Now, under here's going to be the factory skid plate. There's the bolt. I assume that's a 14. I'll let you know here in a minute. I wanted to look at sorry about the bad camera angle. Specifically this one. This is the CV axle, which is super common on these cars. It's not throwing any grease or anything that I'm able to see. So I don't know if it's just dried up or what the case is. But anyway, let me figure out what this size is. We'll get it drained. No idea when this was changed. There's actually a window sticker, but I'm still changing it regardless. So let me figure out what socket this is, and I'll show you what it looks like as it's draining. All right, guys, so it's a 17 millimeter drain plug. I actually had to fight this. This is entirely too tight. There's a heat shield rattle. I'll show you this in a minute. I heard that the other day. Sorry, anyway, it's 17 millimeter. Whatever tech put this on, I know it wasn't the previous owner. They don't know anything about vehicles. But whoever put this in is entirely too tight. So let me get this to drain. Actually, hold on one second. I'm gonna reset up the camera so you're able to see, since the light's blinding you. There you go. Sorry about my brother broke my tripod, but anyway, nice part about these cars is the oil filter's up top. So once the drain plug is out, super easy. Oh no. Well, there you go. I have no idea the last time this was changed. Of course, made a mess. But if you can see it, that little tiny piece around there is the drain, the crush ring for the drain. So super dirty. That's why we're changing stuff. So hopefully this lasts us really, really long time. Let this finish draining, and I'm gonna go ahead and go up top and put the filter on. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so before I get back up there, sorry, let me get the light out of the way. Went ahead and cleaned that off. This is what I was talking about. I heard a small, sorry, it's really bad, small exhaust rattle. And you know the heat shields on Subaru, so I guess their answer was a coat hanger. Oh well, it is what it is. This is 31 foot-pounds for the drain plug, by the way. Super easy to do. I wasn't gonna do it at first. I was gonna tighten it like I normally do, but it takes an extra second to do this. So 31 foot-pounds, and I will post the description or the part number for the copper, I think it's aluminum, but the crush ring for the drain plug. All right, like I said, once you're up here, there's all the mess I made. That's the oil. So I looked at the window sticker up here. I'll show you the exact mileage when we're done, but it was actually due for an oil change anyway. 118,480. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not gonna start it because there's no oil. There you go, so 200 miles, it was ready. Anyway, at this point, we're gonna go ahead and remove that Pennzoil oil filter, and then there's the filler neck. Super easy. Let me see if I have one of those Harbor Freight oil filter, I don't even know what they're called, housing. Anyway, it fits on top there, and it loosens it. So let me see if I have one. We'll take that off, and I'll show you what to do with the new one. So I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. I do have a oil filter wrench. Couldn't pick what it was called before. Cap's not screwed back on. I just put it on just so none of the crud goes in there. Honestly, even if this car wasn't ready for an oil change, it was getting an oil change. Me and my, well, at least I didn't put the oil filter on too tight. Me and my brother went back and forth with dealership oil changes, and of course you never really know what you're getting. And on top of that, like, you know, some of the oil that they use, it's not going to be whatever you want. I don't really have a preference as long as it's not like Dollar General brand. But yeah, so I also, the reason I'm doing this is, as with any other Subaru, I am checking to see if this thing burns any oil. Sorry, I'm trying to do something with the oil filter. All right, let me put the phone down real quick. I need a tripod. All right, so anyway, go ahead and clean that up, and then what you want to do is make sure there's no plastic on these. Some of these actually have plastic covering it. Put a little bit of oil around that O-ring. I'm going to clean all that up. I'm going to clean that cap up, and I'm going to use my favorite degreaser, which of course is Super Clean. Shout out to them again, just because they are a continued sponsor of our channel. And I'll probably use that also to degrease the rest of the engine, but for right now, we're focused on the oil change. Okay, so oil filter's on. I like Mobil 1. I like Mobil 1 oil too. This just happened to be a better deal. Ended up dropping the cap down into the abyss. Pick that back up, and we're gonna go over here and spray this. Like I said, guys, this is my favorite cleaner. Not just because they sponsor us, but it really, really works. So let me see if I can do this all in one motion. It's gonna be kind of hard to do with one hand, but let me find a clean part of the dirty towel. There you go. You can see how easy it all came off. Obviously, I need to do this with more than one hand, and I think I might see if I have a small bristle brush. Anyway, let me clean that up. I'll check to see how much this is going to take, and then we'll let it run for a little bit, and then I'll recheck it just to make sure levels are good. All right, so we are waiting for the rest of the oil to drain down. Luckily, I had a little bit of oil left over from when we changed the oil in my wife's CRV. Apparently these take 5.1. I think the 2.0s take 5.5 almost. We're gonna go ahead and let this finish draining down in there, and then I don't want to add a whole bottle yet. I want to check it before we do that, but there's at least enough in there to start it, and then let it idle just for a little bit, and then recheck the levels. Obviously, you guys know how to check the levels. This is just if you've never done one of these and you want to save, you know, the trip to the dealership. Honestly, I don't know if it really saves you any money, but at least you know that the work done to your car is done correctly and up to your standard. So anyway, there's the oil cap. Did a real quick clean with just that little brush, cleaned it up. Anyway, super clean, check them out, guys. Anyway, if you've watched up to this point, thank you for watching. Obviously, like, share, subscribe. It really helps everything. The reason we got this, again, we're just tired of payments. So stay tuned for later in this week. We're gonna also be doing a cabin filter. Don't know if that's ever been done. And there's a little bit of other work that we're gonna do to this. Hopefully this makes my wife a really good car. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment as always.